Well, hello again and welcome to another video. In this video I thought we'd have a look at something totally different again, and obviously with my connection with boats and something that happened quite recently, I thought we'd have a look at how best to maintain and service, I use that word very loosely, but really how to maintain and look after a modern auto-inflatable life jacket that I'm sure many people keep on boats. And so I thought we'd have a look at that in this video, and I'll explain why this video came about, and I'll explain what I'm going to do and how I'm going to, if for want of a better word, service this life jacket. So we'll have a look now anyway at the life jacket in question. Right, so here we can see this is a compact auto-inflatable. This particular model is a Skumar, and this is a big life jacket. This is rated at 275 newtons, so it's really designed for offshore, if you were going really offshore out at sea. And it's one of the most buoyant life jackets that you can get, rated at 275 newton. But that aside, that doesn't matter. I was given this jacket, and hence why it's been on a boat that's only on a river, but it doesn't matter. It still does the same thing. If you fall in the water, however big or small that water course is, it'll still automatically inflate. But this is quite interesting. I'd taken this off my boat, and it was stored in what I thought was, we'd lay it down there, what I was thought to be a dry garage. And a couple of weeks ago I actually went in the garage and heard a faint hissing noise, which I thought was very odd. There's nothing, I've got no electricity running in the garage, that was all switched off. It's basically my workshop as well, where I keep all my old radios and televisions and such like. And this was on a shelf, and I happened to, then when I heard this faint hissing sound, I put the light on, and this life jacket comes in a very nice, its own mesh bag, and what I could see happening quite amazingly was it was actually inflating, or trying to inflate, within the bag. And obviously, so I got it down quickly off the shelf, and just managed, before it got too big in the bag, I managed to get it out the bag, and at that point the life jacket fully inflated. Now, everybody that has these life jackets will know that these life jackets take a CO2 canister, or a little cylinder, and there's various ways that these automatic life jackets inflate when you fall in the water. And it's quite interesting. On this Skumar life jacket, I don't know how well you'll see this. I can probably bring it into the camera where that will focus or not. I've got almost like a replacement canister, and almost what you call a service kit for this, if you want, for better words. There's the plastic clips, but this life jacket also has like a little hard white tablet, which actually fits in to the mechanism. We shall open that up in a bit, and obviously when that gets wet, the tablet dissolves, basically like an aspirin that you put in water, or a soluble paracetamol that you put in water. It dissolves and then activates the firing pin, which then obviously makes a hole in the end of our CO2 cylinder, and then inflates the jacket. So what must have happened, what I thought was a dry garage, obviously over a number of, I think this has been in the garage about a year. It's came off my boat when I sold a particular boat, and I haven't put it on the new boat as yet. obviously it had got damp, or the garage was a damp atmosphere, and what was happening, the tablet inside the automatic firing mechanism was actually dissolving of its own accord, not even being in water, and it actually fired the CO2 jacket and activated it, and the jacket was inflating. And it got me wondering, there must be loads of people that keep life jackets on boats. Sometimes I'm very pro safety. I wear a life jacket on the river, I wear a life jacket on the canal. I think these automatic life jackets are so compact. They're so brilliant to wear. You don't hardly know you've got them on. And I solo boat. I boat on my own a lot. Even if I'm just washing the boat down in the marina, I'll put my automatic compact life jacket on. I think they're fantastic. I can't see, and it beats me, I still see a lot of videos on YouTube, and I can't see, and thank goodness it's up to everybody's choice. I'm not here to say you must wear one, you should wear one. That's not for me to say that, but I just don't understand, particularly people cruising in the winter, even on the canal. You know, the water temperature is so cold, and the shock of falling in the water, even if you're an Olympic swimmer, your body, it takes a huge shock to your body when you fall in that cold water. And if you're on your own like me, you've only got yourself to save. There's nobody on the boat, there's nobody probably on the bank. You know, you might have fallen in a deep field lock. So I think they're crucial, and they're so easy to wear. They're not that expensive even now. You can a crew saver automatic life jacket can be bought from anything to sort of £60–90 for a basic automatic one that would be fine for any application that you want. You know, that's inland or even coastal work. But that's my view, and as I say, that's how I feel about this. So I always wear one. I've always got them on the boat for other people to wear, and if they come on my boat, they wear them. It's as simple as that, particularly when you're on deck, when you're messing about with locks. So this was basically just like a spare life jacket. It's how I was given this many years ago. I know somebody that worked for a company that very kindly gave me this. But it got me thinking, how many people keep life jackets on boats, whether they wear them, whether they don't wear them, do they even look at them? And I think it's a really important point to make that every spring, really, what I suggest you do is, first of all, and we'll do this one, if you don't want to inflate it with a CO2 cylinder, all you have to do is basically these cylinders only screw and unscrew. So best to unscrew the cylinder there, obviously break the jacket manually. They've just like got Velcro and a couple of studs. So break the jacket open, get the inflatable bladder out, unscrew the cylinder, and then you'll see you have, on all these jackets, you have a mouthpiece. So then all you have to do basically is like that, is blow the life jacket up to its, you know, need to do it over hard to you know, so it's really nice and firm, and then leave it 24 hours, and that's a good way of checking it if it's going to go down. Obviously, if it goes down, throw it out. Don't even ever think about repairing a life jacket. If you've had a life jacket on board for many years, sometimes they go mouldy. You know, boats are damp, boats get damp, so check them, and as I say, blow them up. A crucial point of a life jacket is always round this mouth inflation tube is always glued in there, and you can see that's glued. That is a point on older jackets where they fail. So obviously, you know, check that. This one looks brilliant. Although this jacket is a few years old, I have every confidence in that. it looks fine at the moment. But we will leave this jacket inflated as it is now, and then we'll come back to it in 24 hours time and see if there's any change. You know, I roughly can feel how hard I've blown that up, and we'll see what happens. Right, well, it's now 24 hours. I've had this jacket obviously in a warm house. It's been upstairs in my little office here, and I've had it blown up. And I'm pleased to say there is no signs of, you know, it's just as I blew it up. There is no signs of any air loss whatsoever. So I'm more than happy that this is still what I class as a very serviceable life jacket. You can, as I say, and I better make that clear, you can get companies, you can take your life jacket to a company who will properly service it and accredit it that service, and you'll get a receipt to say it has been serviced. But I think, you know, rather than just leaving life jackets on board year in, year out, it's far better to have a look at them yourself, as I say, once a year. Even if you unscrew the CO2 cylinder and then manually inflate it, leave it 24 hours, check that it's still holding good air, you know, there's no signs of any mould or damage, you know, on the jacket, and then you're ready to start packing the jacket back up again. So let's have a look at that. The first thing we do is obviously we have to deflate the life jacket, which is very easy. You've got a little black, don't know if you'll see that, you've got a little black indentated cap. That cap should normally go over there, but when you want to deflate the jacket, all you do is you push that cap into that end and you'll hear the air start to come out. So this is particularly a big life jacket. It's because it's what is classed as a 275 Newton jacket, which is one of the biggest ones made, I believe, for sort of leisure usage. A normal inflatable life jacket is round about between 150, say, and 190 newtons, so it's quite a bit more than that. I mean, this would really float you in foul weather gear, you know, and it's really designed if help, you know, is a long way off, like for ocean sailing or something, you know, in those. But like I've said, it doesn't matter. It's a life jacket, and it'll work in whatever environment. If it's serviced and looked after right, it'll work as a life jacket in any environment. If that's the canal, the river, or the sea, it doesn't matter. Really, realistically. So the key to these is to get all the air out of them. So there we go, we've now worked on it and gradually worked it round, holding the black dome bit over our spring in our mouth tube, and we've got all the air out. It's vital that when you try and pack these up, obviously, so you get a nice packed folded life jacket within the outer cover, you want all the air out. This life jacket also has a whistle, which they should have. Obviously that's for rescue. This life jacket also has a water operated battery and light. We're not too worried about that. It looks in good condition. If somebody was wearing this, it would only be on the inland waters. This is going to be used on a riverboat. So now we come to, on this one, we're going to put a new CO2 cartridge on it, and there's the cartridge. On this case, as it's a big life jacket, it needs a 56 gram CO2 cartridge. It's just filled with CO2 inert gas, which, as I say, this is a very thin end here, and there's a firing pin that when our pill dissolves, the firing pin breaks that seal, and then obviously the CO2 gas in this cylinder rushes into the life jacket bladder and inflates it within a matter of well, within seconds. It's that quick. So normally on a 150 to 190 Newton life jacket, you would have a 33 gram cylinder. As I say, this is a bigger one because it's a bigger life jacket. That's the only reason. Do note, your life jacket will come with instructions, and there are some instructions on this one. I cannot at this moment in time find them. There they are. Don't know if you can see those blue. That will always tell you, there's 3 pages there in just about every language. It even tells you how to do it. It'll tell you what size cylinder you need. Obviously the important thing to do is make sure you replace the cylinder like for like. Do refer to your instructions and get your right cylinder. Most chandlery shops and life jacket manufacturers sell their own service or replacement kits, and always keep one of these on the boat, so if somebody does fall in and it activates, you can replace it straight away, and it's fatal, and it's very easy to do, to put these away when they've been discharged and then forget about it, and somebody comes to wear it, and then obviously you've lost that automatic facility. You could still blow it up manually, but if they fall in the water it won't inflate. So there we go, that's the cylinder. So hopefully you can see this as I come a bit closer. This is our firing mechanism on this jacket, and that is our manual. That little red knob there, hopefully you'll see that. That's if you want to manually fire it. You pull that down, and there's a plastic pin there that breaks, and then the arm comes down and the pin comes up and punctures the cylinder and inflates the jacket. But in our case, we have, and we're going to get a little brush and we're going to clean that out, because I don't know if you can see that. I'll zoom in a little bit on that, do you think? Going the wrong way. Hopefully you'll see that. There's my finger. This here is where our dissolvable hard tablet goes in, and this is what had dissolved or was gradually melting away in my garage, in the atmosphere of the garage this winter. And so we're going to replace that and put our hard tablet in there, so that, you know, obviously then gives us the automatic inflate facility. So I will find a little brush, and there's some remnants of the old tablet in there which I don't like. We'll clean all that out, and then we'll come back and fit the new tablet. So there we go. I've gone in with a little toothbrush and given that a really good clean out, and I'm really quite happy with now. That's got any remnants of the little sort of white powdery stuff that was left on the old tablet that had obviously just broken down in there. So the thing to do now is, what we simply do is, and there we go. There, can you see my hand there? Where can I come? Can I? There is the white tablet that we're going to replace into there. And as I say, basically what that happens is, that's water activated. Obviously you fall in the water and the water rushes in around the material and outer cover, and then so basically that little tablet goes in that there like so. Just, can you see that? Hopefully you can. You see it's gone in its cover, and then we pull that spring-loaded cover down. That's shut. Now that is all we need to do with that, and then all we need to do then, if I can find what I did with it, which is over here, we take our CO2. Shall we just zoom back out a bit? There we go, the wrong way. There we come. We take our cylinder and we screw that in. That's our replacement. Just hand tight, so it's nice and tight. Not overly tight. Don't put a spanner on it. Don't put a wrench on it. You don't need to. Just nice and tight there, and that's fine. So our life jacket is now active again. It is fully automatic. As we haven't pulled it manually, we don't need to change these little. If you pull a tag and fire it manually, you have to put the new little green plastic clips in, which come with the new cylinder and the new tablets. And so that's all ready now. That's all active. So we've cleaned the mechanism there, and we've blown it up. It's holding its inflation well. I have no worries about this now. It's fully serviceable life jacket, as I say, and so what will come back now, we'll get it ready, get it laid out, and we'll fold it back up. So hopefully you can see we're now just nicely folding this up, trying to follow the original folds on the jacket, which isn't that easy, I know. I mean, it's not rocket science, because you just want it quite nice and tidy in the compartment, and you might find you have to sort of start bringing it together and fold little bits back in there and back down. It's often good to get one of the clips. So, and what have we got there? That's going to fold into there. We've still got some to come here, fold up there nicely. There we go, we're getting somewhere pretty close now. So that's ideal because we're a bit bunched up there, but just keep running your finger around that Velcro, and there we go, we've virtually got a nice tight seal on that. The Velcro is all stuck down. What I like to do then is, it's a bit like when you fit a bike in a tube, you just want to run it round and make sure that you've got no of the bladder pinched anywhere in there. And there we go. That is our Skewmar life jacket, re-armed. We've had a good look at it. Like I said, I'm not going to say it's serviced. We've certainly put a new activation tablet in there. We put a new CO2 cylinder in there. Well, there we go. The life jacket is all packed up nicely. I think it's always a good idea to try the jacket on when you've packed it up, and that evens it out, and see that it's all lays nicely against the body and the straps all still work. Obviously that's another important thing, to check all the fixings and how it fixes to the body. And I'm really pleased with that. As I say, it's back serviceable, and it can go in its nice the bag that it lives in, and it can go on the boat in the spring. So that's basically how I look after my life jackets. I do that to every life jacket. The first year, if I buy a new one, I wouldn't do it the first year, but every year thereafter, sometime in the spring or early summer, I certainly have them out and make sure they're all okay. So I hope that's been of use to somebody. I will be looking at other life jackets. I hope to do a little bit of a series on this, because I still think in this country we get very confused of what is a life jacket, what isn't a life jacket, what is more called a buoyancy aid. And as I say, I'm fascinated by this kind of boating gear. I've grown up around it. I have a little bit of knowledge, not an awful lot, but a little bit. And we'll also be I want to look at what I think is the best market life jacket on the market at the moment that suits probably inland boating. So we'll probably come back and have a look at that. We might even test one in the water, say, find a location, or even a swimming pool that might let us test one, and just do, that won't be a scientific test, but yeah, hope you found that of interest. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel. That makes all the difference, and comment. I like your comments if you found it interesting. If you haven't found it interesting, if you've got any points of view, how you do it, or different things, it's always interesting to have that interaction on YouTube. So thank you very much to everybody that responds to my videos, and please do come back soon for another video, and thanks for watching, and bye for now.